second part of the video, and we are going to see the WH questions. As I was telling you, with the WH questions, we have an extra element, which is the WH word. Which are the WH words? Do you remember? Here we have some of them. We have where, we have what, we have why, we have when, and how. Now, when we are going to have a WH question, we need the extra element, which is the WH. Remember, the WH is always number one. It's always the first element. Element number one, it's the WH. Element number two, the auxiliary did. Element number three, subject. 4, the verb, and 5, the complement. For example, what did you do yesterday? In this case, the answer cannot be yes, I did, or no, I didn't. Of course, we need extra information. So we are going to add, what did you do yesterday? Think about that question. In my case, I could say, I watched a movie. What about you? So, I watched the movie. Extra information. Now, when we have WH questions with was and where, we need the extra element. What is the extra element? Remember the WH word. The WH word is element number one. Then we have was and where, the subject, and complement. For example, when we have the WH word, when. Think about a question with that. I could ask, when were you born? When were you born? When were you born? In that case, we cannot answer yes, I was, or no, I wasn't. We need to give the information that is requested. When were you born? Well, I was born in 1992. I was born in 1992. So remember, when we have the WH questions, we need the extra element that is the WH. Now, what's the difference between questions with did and questions with the passive be? What's the difference? Can you remember? Well, if you can see the difference, one of them is that when you have the auxiliary did, you have 5 elements: WH, did, subject, verb, and complement. Of course, you have a verb. For that reason, you need the auxiliary did. But then in this case, we only have 4 elements: WH, where, subject, and complement. In this case, we don't have any other verb but the verb be. Now, talking about that, we have an exercise here for you to identify when you need to use did, was, or were. Did, was, or were. Remember the difference between the auxiliary did and was or were. We have this question here, for example. Where / you study English? What would be the answer? Did, was, or were? How can you complete this question? First, you need to identify if you have a verb or if you need a verb. Check. Do you have a verb here? This element is the WH. This element is subject. This element is, a verb. The verb study. And this element is the complement. So when you have a verb, you need the auxiliary did. You need the auxiliary did. So let's see. Where did you study? Where did you study English? I studied at APEC. Now we have the other one. Who? It's element number 1. We have your favorite teacher. Who? Your favorite teacher. In here, do you see any verb? Do you see a verb in here? Well, no, we don't have any verb. So in that case, we need to add the verb be in past. Your favorite teacher is the third person. For that reason, you need was. Who was your favorite teacher? Now let's check here. Why, the WH, and then we have check. Let's check if we have a verb. Why, they, subject. We have come. Come is a verb. Here is the complement. So we need what? Was, where, or did. In this case, we need the auxiliary did because we have the verb come. Why did they come here? They came here because it was late. Other example. We have the example. We have the WH when. We have she, oh, and we have cook. Cook. Cook is a verb. Pasta is the complement. Remember, when you have a verb that is not the verb be, it's necessary what? The auxiliary did. Very good. Now, the last question will be this one. Let's check if you have a verb. How old is the WH question? And then you have your friend. I don't see any verb. So in that case, we are not going to use did. It's necessary to use the verb be. Your friend is the third person, so we are going to use was. So if you have any question, please just let me know.